Virginia Tech is in desperate need of a rebuild, and we have just the man for the job. Sean Payton is available and is willing to take this college football coaching job with Grant Wells at the helm as quarterback. ACC Coastal standings here on the screen right now show us projected 5th for the season, and to start the season, we are ranked 68th in the entire country with our first game up here against West Virginia as they start off strong with a quarterback read option up the middle for a 7-0 lead, but we respond back with backup running back Keyshawn King to tie us at 7. Chance here to really get the momentum going our way to start the game. Pick is dropped. Thankfully, West Virginia can't get anything from it as we then go down the next drive, go up 10-7. But just when you think things are going well, Grant Wells, quarterback, tries to throw one up to starting running back Malachi Thomas, and that is picked with 55 seconds to go before the half. And West Virginia is going to make us pay with an absolute dot from JT Daniels over the top to put them up 14-10, but thankfully we were able to drive down and get some points before half, heading in to halftime 14-13 down by 1. Malachi Thomas starting the third quarter with a nice little run there up the middle, read option following his lineman, and Grant Wells doing the same later as the Mountaineers unable to get anything going to start the second half. We get a bundle of points heading up 24-14 in the fourth quarter here. Malachi Thomas with another handoff up the middle for another touchdown, giving us a pretty commanding lead at this point in the game. But West Virginia not done as they try to get something going. Ball is dropped, and that could seal the deal for the Hokies winning the opening game of the year in Morgantown, West Virginia. But upon further review, the referee said the ball carrier was down. West Virginia has life, and they are going to get some here. 31-21 would not last long as Malachi Thomas easily up the middle. JT Daniels trying to get some late magic, but thankfully our defense comes up big with the pick with about a minute left to go in the game. 38-21. That would not last for long as Grant Wells again up the middle. Malachi Thomas, hero of the day, 188 yards, 3 tutties, and we get the win 45-21 to start the year off fresh. Louisville up next, and Malachi Thomas doing his job, up 7-0 early against the Cardinals, but they respond back with a touchdown of their own, taking it 7-7. Grant Wells running that read option to perfection for the run-in touchdown, 14-7. He overthrows his receiver. We could have gone up big there. Louisville able to get something before the half, 14-10, but we have a chance here to put a dagger early in the first half as we connect with senior wide receiver Caleb Smith, who takes it to the house, putting us up 21-10 at half. And to be quite honest, guys, the Hokies, we did not look back. Malachi Thomas adding to his totals on the day, 28-10. Louisville would find a way to try to get something going here as unable to get the first down. We then kind of put the nail in the coffin kind of for ourselves there as Grant Wells unable to get something going, throws a pick, trying to seal the deal. Evans here for Louisville is able to run it in, making it a little bit closer than we anticipated, but Malachi Thomas doing his job up the middle, offensive line doing great stuff. Big pick here, pick 6 to really seal the deal on the game as we take down Louisville as they try to get one more prayer up in the air. They're able to somehow connect. I wanted to leave that in there as our defense just kind of falling apart at the end. Can't really seal it out. Hopefully not bad signs to come as the year goes on. Malachi Thomas, player of the game once again. 42-26 victory against ACC foe. We go up against FCS East and take them down 52-7 in the next game. But next up, Battle of the Techs. Keyshawn King, backup running back in the game, 7-0 up against Tech. But Georgia Tech trying to get something going. Ball is dropped. Defense getting a hand in there as we return that back to midfield with a chance to go up big, and we would take full advantage of that in the second half. Going up 14 rip. Malachi Thomas once again bullying a defender, 21-0. Sims trying to get something going, and he's able to dot up his receiver on the play, 21-7. Right before half, Grant Wells throws up a prayer to Steven Gosnell, and he is able to make the catch. Call them on the hurry up, and again, Caleb Smith making Tech pay up 28-7 here in the third quarter. Sims trying to get something going, but we are able to stop him on the play, setting us up for another methodical long drive, killing some time, and Malachi Thomas runs that into the end zone. Later in the fourth, Grant Wells runs in a perfect read option, 42-7 now on the day. We had the backups in. We win the game against Georgia Tech as we face a big opponent here early in the season, North Carolina, at home wearing the Hokie Stone jerseys as we find wide receiver Moss early in the game going up 7-0. We are able to hold then North Carolina to only a field goal. We got that read option down. Malachi Thomas puts us up 14-3. North Carolina, though, dotting up, finding a receiver, but we are able to fight back, do the same to them. But Drake May finding a way on that read option gets his team into the end zone. And we've got a dogfight here. 21-17. Grant Wells gets it to Nick Gallo for the lead. North Carolina cannot respond with a field goal. And we have a dagger here up the sideline. But Smith drops the pass. Ball goes back down the other way. North Carolina, another missed field goal attempt, keeping us in the lead. And we are able to dot up the defense here on a little slant, taking it to the house, 35-17, and North Carolina trying to get a 4th and inches at the end of the fourth quarter, unable to do so, and we seal the deal with a Nick Gallo tight end touchdown pass, giving Grant Wells player of the game. Big home win, ACC against North Carolina, 42-17, 4-0, heading up to Pittsburgh. And we had a little bit of a battle here with Pitt for a while. They go up 7-0 early in the game. Malachi Thomas, after another methodical drive, ties it at 7. Big chance here, big stop on 4th and 1. Our defense gets us going the other way, and we are able to capitalize with Malachi Thomas once again. Here near midway through the second quarter, Pitt ties the game. Malachi Thomas gets us in near the end of half. Pitt trying to get a field goal, and the kicker pulls it on the play, which gives us enough time to go back down the field before half. 28-14, unable to punch it in there for the big go-ahead touchdown. 28-14, but man, wide receiver Lofton finding a way to get it done. DeJuan Lofton gets his first punt return on the year, and that gives us a big lead, 35-14, and we would not look back. 45-28 would be your final. Malachi Thomas putting up massive stats. We find ourselves up into the coaches poll for the first time all year at 22nd. Malachi Thomas also front runner for the Heisman as he puts up touchdowns for days. And we have our biggest test of the year to date against Wake Forest in the rain at Lane Stadium, wearing the orange jerseys, have a potential dot on the play, and man oh man, Grant Wells underthrows his receiver. Wake Forest takes it down the field, and they capitalize on our mistake on the turnover. Grant Wells trying to make something happen here, and he fumbles the ball in the rain. Things could be going terribly here at home as Hartman, looking for something, we're able to try to sack him, unable to do so, and we drop an easy pick. Thankfully, we stop them on 4th down. We take it down. It is a field goal trading battle as we find ourselves 10-3 before half, trying to get something going, and we throw a devastating pick. Not we, Grant Wells throws the devastating pick on the play. Wake Forest unable to score a touchdown. We hold them to a field goal, and thankfully find ourselves only down 10 at half. Able to get through the third quarter, only able to get a field goal. Sam Hartman trying to get it going for Wake Forest and unable to do so as a deflected pick falls into the hands of Murray as he is able to take that all the way down the field, kind of changing the fortunes of the game and for our team. Getting things going here in the fourth quarter. Malachi Thomas trying to really run out the clock, and he fumbles it in the rain against Wake Forest. Thankfully, they don't make us pay on it. We're able to go down the field, get a nice little tutty here, miss the extra point attempt, and Hartman fumbles the ball, falls to the big man, offensive lineman, who actually almost gets the first down. But time expires, and we survive Wake Forest 20-13, an absolute battle in the rain. And we then go down to Durham, North Carolina to take on Duke. Blue Devils finding ourselves up early. Malachi Thomas really having a standout performance for his Heisman chances. 14 rip to start the game. Duke able to respond in the second quarter with a field goal. Grant Wells with an absolute dot, dropped by Lofton and goes the other way. That should have been a touchdown. Unfortunately for Duke, unable to get anything going as we find Caleb Smith, Mr. Reliable, for the tutty, and Malachi Thomas into the end zone as he typically does. Duke finding a way to respond and try to stay in the game with a tutty there of their own, but Malachi Thomas, as you guys see the film here, he is just absolutely beast moding on them with 3 touchdowns consecutively in a row, just absolutely taking care of business. We then go up to Boston College. We take care of business there as a trading battle, but we find ourselves biggest game of the year against Virginia Tech. 3 versus 9. Virginia Tech versus Miami, I should say. And thankfully unable to score as Miami, but they get a massive turnover in the first quarter after they get that field goal, and they take a commanding 10-0 lead. Thankfully, another drive down the field, back-to-back for the Hokies, and Malachi Thomas puts 14 points up on the board himself. Big stop there on the defense, and Grant Wells looking for something here. He is able to dot up Gusnell and in for the touchdown. 21-10, another Malachi Thomas run in, and Miami trying to stay in the game as the Hurricanes able to pull off a little tutty there with an onside kick opportunity very close to being recovered by the Hurricanes, is picked up by Tech, unable to make anything of it. Out of bounds is the Miami receiver, and we hold on for the 28-16 win against the Hurricanes, as you guys can see there as well. Up big. We then play ODU. We smack them 48-3, and we are number 1 heading into the Commonwealth Cup against the Virginia Cavaliers. Number 1 in the nation, undefeated. We've been on it all season long. Caleb Smith with another tutty grab there, putting us up 7. Trying to get it going there to him again, but Wells finds an interception. Thought there was a little PI on the play. Wells not getting it done here in the Commonwealth Cup, throwing 2 interceptions, and the Virginia Cavaliers find a big touchdown run there for Mike Hollins, but we come back down with our own running back superstar, Malachi Thomas. Fourth quarter, Virginia trying to get something going, and they are able to nail the field goal, and we find a way to squeak out a win 14-10 against the Virginia Cavaliers. Find ourselves in the ACC Championship, trying to punch our ticket to the College Football Playoff in the snow against Florida State. We start off strong with a 7-0 lead. Florida State responds with a field goal. We're unable to really get any offense going this game as Florida State takes the lead, and right at the stroke of halftime, trying to find some magic, and Gusnell makes the grab. With 13 seconds left on the clock, we go hurry up, and he does it again in the end zone. 14-10 lead, and Malachi Thomas into the end zone again. We say that a lot with him. 21-10 with a chance. Florida State needs one. They are able to respond. 21-16 with a nice long clock drive. Score go up 28-16 now. As Florida State, I tried to user lurk. Unable to do so, but we are able to hold on for our first ACC championship with Sean Payton at the helm. A 28-23 battle against Florida State, who were a solid opponent. Malachi Thomas wins the Heisman. He wins the Maxwell, the Walter Camp Award, the Walker Award. Garbutt wins. We got a bunch of award winners. Sean Payton winning Coach of the Year, and the College Football Playoff starts off a semifinal at the Peach Bowl in Georgia, in Atlanta, against the Oregon Ducks, as we start off strong against them, and Grant Wells with his biggest run of the year, biggest run of his career, and that puts us up 14 on the Oregon Ducks, and I don't think the team was looking back after this. Grant Wells dotting up a receiver there, Caleb Smith, his favorite target. Oregon was able to hit the field goal as the clock expired for halftime, but it would not matter. Grant Wells finding more receivers wide open. We have Lofton into the end zone, 28-3 now in this game, and Wells running it in for himself, running up the score, 35-3. We get the backups in, Keyshawn King. We've got Brown in at quarterback, and he's going to run it into the end zone, powering his way through the defense And man, 49-3 was the final against the Oregon Ducks, setting up a national championship against Ohio State at SoFi Stadium. And this would be an absolute battle in the rain. And man, Grant Wells putting his body on the line, but Ohio State would respond. Travion Henderson, C.J. Stroud were giving the Hokies defense a problem all game long. 14-7 as we are in the second quarter. Wells looking for something, able to dot up Jaden Blue, senior wide receiver, as we get down the field, and Malachi Thomas pounds it in for the play, but Grant Wells would actually end up being out for the game with an abdominal strain, and Ohio State would take the lead 17-14 into the half. Our season looking like it was over, but Malachi Thomas, Heisman-winning trophy, Malachi Thomas gets us into the end zone twice. Ohio State responds with a touchdown of their own. And man, oh man, they go for the extra point, and they are able to get it with the 2-point conversion. 28-25, it came down to the onside kick into the hands of sturdy senior receiver Caleb Smith, and we would kneel down, winning a national championship first year for Sean Payton, and we would see him return for a second season looking to do it again.